Hi my lovelies, this video is a very long overdue tongue split update. I've now had my tongue split for a little over 4 years. Yeah, this is hair. And also some of the tricks I can do, which would answer one of the questions I sometimes get is, can you move the two sides independently or can you do tricks? This is all I can do. I can clap and I can somewhat move the two sides independently. The left side is easier than the right. Yeah, those are my tricks. So what really is there to update about? Talking has obviously gotten a lot easier as time has passed. I do still have a little bit of a lisp if I'm not super thinking about talking, or if I've had a couple of beers is when I get more of a lisp. I don't know if I've always done this maybe, but I'm just now noticing it with my split tongue, maybe because I'm more conscious of it, I don't know. But I do start slurring my words a little bit when I'm not really drunk. But yeah, the lisp is also there when I'm sober. But with certain words, it just kind of, it gets lispy. What else? The other thing I can talk about is regrowth. Now, I have a tongue tie, which I know there's body mod artists that will remove a tongue tie with a split or like give you the option or whatever. I don't think I would have done it because getting your tongue tie removed and your tongue split at the same time is brutal. The healing is brutal. You can get a deeper split if you remove the tongue tie, obviously, but I'm kind of happy with the size my split is. I didn't get my tongue tie cut, so the split isn't super deep. It goes to right about where my tongue piercing sat, and I know the reason most body mod artists go for a deeper split or will remove the tongue tie to do a deeper split is because of regrowth. It's just a thing that happens. Your tongue wants to grow back together because that is how it is. So body mod artists will cut as deep as they can so you end up with as much split as possible even when you get regrowth. I personally also got regrowth. It's a normal thing. I've never met anyone with a split tongue who didn't get any regrowth at all, but for me it is like a very minimal amount. It's only about a centimeter, maybe 1.5, which isn't a lot at all. I see most people talk about like 2.5 centimeters and more. Like, it's been 4 years now. I don't think there's going to be like a massive amount of regrowth just coming out of fucking nowhere anytime soon. About 2 years in, I did think about getting it resplit and also getting my tongue tie cut. Now I'm not really sure. I don't feel the need to because I'm very happy with my split. Yeah, that's pretty much all I can think of update wise. I figured I would also take this opportunity to answer some of the questions that I get the most about my split tongue, both online and in real life. Let's get into the questions. I cannot believe my phone was just behind me the entire time. I'm not gonna refilm that. That's embarrassing. See, this is what happens if I don't have a fucking viewfinder. As if it's not my own fault. I should have known better, but I didn't. Now, the first question, and the question I probably get the most, is why did you do it? I know a lot of people ask this especially on the internet, they ask it in a bit of a malicious way and not because they genuinely want to know why I got it done, because they can't like wrap their head around people doing stuff like this. And no one is ever happy with my answer, but I got it done just because I wanted to get it done. I think it looks really cool. There's no like deep spiritual meaning behind it or anything. I don't want to be Snake. It's not for sex reasons or anything like that. I just like how it looks. The first time I saw someone with a split tongue, I was probably about 9 or 10. Like from that point on, I knew I wanted to have it done. Yeah, I just think it looks cool is my answer. And I wanted to look cool. The second thing I probably get asked about the most is, how does it work? Now, I'm not going to go into like the whole nitty gritty of it. I'm not a body mod artist. I don't know like the ins and outs and what's right and what's wrong. I can only tell you about what I experienced. I did brush my teeth beforehand, like just literally in an alleyway, like right beforehand. You go in, swish your mouth with, for me, first it was just regular mouthwash and then antiseptic stuff to like get your mouth ready for like an open wound. And then it was like a little lidocaine, which is surface numbing. And then there was the guy who did it, and he had an assistant, so another person was there as well, to help him hold things. And they just kind of went in. So the assistant had to, what are they called? Those like gauze squares. And she, oh, I also took my tongue piercing out before that. I didn't mention that. So she held my tongue like this. She stood in front of me and she just held it. And then it was actually pretty straightforward. The guy just cut through the thin tissue between the tongue muscles. And it, like, the weirdest part of it was feeling my tongue just like slowly be pulled outwards. Because obviously, like, the assistant will hold your tongue taut and just like, you know, like pull outwards a little bit, so it's easier for the body mod artist to cut. And like feeling your tongue slowly separate, it's just the weirdest sensation in the world. I can't even describe it. It's one of those things where like, if you know, you know, because it literally just feels like your tongue like separating. And the other weird, more disgusting sensation I will never forget is just like the kind of scratching. I don't know how to explain it, like feeling the scalpel cut through your tongue. It's just kind of nasty. I've never experienced anything like it, and I don't want to experience it ever again. Like, that's, to me, that's one of the nastiest feelings in the world. Once they are done like actually splitting the tongue, they put stitches along the insides, like obviously where they just cut, and you leave those stitches in for me it was a week. Yeah, and then you have a split tongue and you go on your merry way. Now, if you want to know about healing, I have a video dedicated to the entire first week of when I got my tongue split 4 years ago, and I will link it right here. I hope this is the right side. I'm gonna link it up here and in the description box. I've always wanted to say that. Real YouTuber. The question of where did you get it done, or how did you find someone who does tongue splits, kind of goes hand in hand with that. Now, where I live, tongue splitting is illegal. And also, like, most other heavy mods are illegal. I think it's in the entire EU. For me, I found out about the guy who did it back in the day when I worked in a tattoo shop. Like how my friend pointed out, I always like to mention, we had a guest artist, and she mentioned that in her studio back home, where she usually works and where she lives, the piercer also does heavier mods. And that's how I made my appointment and found out about the guy. What people also like to ask is if it affects my speech, which I think I've covered, but they also like to ask if it affected my taste, and the answer is no. Can affect your taste in the healing time. Once it's healed, absolutely not. The fun thing is I can, with my two halves, taste two different things at once, but independently. I don't know how else to explain it, but if I have like a shot glass of chocolate sauce and a shot glass of lemon juice, I can dip either half in one of those thingies. Like, you just taste both at the same time, but one at a time, which I wouldn't say is affecting taste. It's just kind of like a cool, not even party trick. For some reason people like to watch me doing it, but it's not like a party trick because no one else can taste it. They can just watch me stick my tongue into shot glasses. Yeah, that's as much as I can say about the taste. And finally, one of the questions I personally hate the most is, how is kissing with a split tongue? For me, it's not that much different at all. I mostly still move my tongue as one. I don't know, like even when I stick my tongue out normally, they like stick together, the two halves. So for me, it doesn't really feel that much different. I have heard on the receiving end that it feels weird but good, is what I was told. And I've also been told it doesn't necessarily feel like two tongues, but it also feels different than a non-split tongue. So do with that what you will. I think that's it for this video. Please excuse the stupid looking microphone that's in frame. I promise it annoys me more than it would ever annoy anyone watching. My camera cut out in the middle of me recording my outro, so here I am once again. Editing Joe is back to give that 2 cents. I really just wanted to say, if there's a question maybe I didn't answer, feel free to leave it in the comments below and I will do my best to get back to you. I'm so tired, it's like 1:30 a.m. And as always, thank you ever so much for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye.